All right, what is up? We are back. We are live. So we're about to do this video breakdown of the $100 bribe video. Sorry, having some technical difficulties. Got locked out of my Rumble account. Um, the videos I was supposed to have ready weren't ready. I was at work. Things were supposed to be downloaded. Let's just say some things were not downloaded, and that's why we couldn't get into it. But welcome to the live. So we're just gonna wait for some people to join, and we will go ahead and get into it. So how is everybody's day going? My day is going good. I just got home from work and picking up some stuff from Harbor Freight because we're supposed to get like some torrential downpours out here in Connecticut for like at least the next week, if memory serves me correctly. So covered up the kids' truck before any of that could happen. So just wanted to put that out there. What's up, Robert? What's going on, Christopher? So you already know we are about to get started. Just waiting for some more people to join. I can't stream on Rumble right now. Like I said, I got locked out of my account. I don't know what's going on with it, but if you guys are ready, I'm ready. I've been working on like a really uh, extensive project behind the scenes. I don't know why, but the ring light always makes me yawn. It always makes me tired. Probably because I'm sitting like right in front of it and staring at it. Like really kills my eyes. But welcome to the live. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Chime in the comments. Let me know that you're here. We got a great Friday's feast coming up for you guys. I was supposed to do a filming project this weekend, but it was supposed to be done outside, and the weather isn't going to permit. But I am working on this really big video. I don't know if I'm going to live stream it or if I'm going to pre-record it and then segment it because it is a lot. Um, so I have stacks and stacks of research that I got to break down to you guys. So don't worry, I'm still working on stuff behind the scenes. What's up, Brian? What's up, Brent? All right, so if you guys are ready, I'm ready. We could go ahead and start. Just type the word ready in the comment section and we will begin. I can't wait till I get paid tomorrow. I need a haircut. We're going to get started pronto. I'm not trying to wait. I do got more work to do on the kids' truck. If you guys have been following the videos, great. If not, then it's actually going to come out really cool. So, all right. I think we're just going to go ahead and get started. Let me just double check my settings really quick. And let me know how the audio is. So I'll start the video and then we can pause it and start breaking stuff down, but we are going to play it and then just let me know how it sounds, all right? Well, I got to play the video. So let me see. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this. Video file.
The depths of hell could have forged a diamond this special.
All right, can you guys hear it? Okay. Let me get a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear it. Okay.
What up, y'all? We back. Good morning. So here's the situation. So we're on our way to a return customer. That's a weird road. Yeah, we're on our way to a return customer. I'll try to post this video right after I post that one, but I did record it. But very long story short, customer has a long driveway, like super long, that I can't even see the house from the road. So as you guys know, it's a curbside delivery.
Just want to confirm audio and visual is good. Let me know down in the chat if I need to change any settings.
But what tops it off is that the road is like pothole ridden. And if memory serves me correctly, if this is the same exact location that I went to before, you know, the material almost fell off the fork a couple times because that's how deep these potholes are. Just coming into the driveway, the material almost fell off the. Yeah, I think this is it. Yep. The material almost fell off the fork. So.
And what's so crazy is that going into this delivery, I actually memorized this guy's delivery address out of all the hundreds of thousands of deliveries that I did because that's how sketchy this address was. And it was just like something where it was just like I needed to memorize it. Like for some reason, there's this customer. I don't remember it now, but for this customer that we're watching, but we used to do deliveries to another customer out in, I think, Stonington, Connecticut. And what in a pain in the butt that delivery was. And I'll tell you the story maybe on another video or later if you guys want to hear about how crazy that delivery was. Because I never captured any content because there was so much craziness going on and chaos at that job site. It would have escalated so quick. So let's go ahead and get back into it.
Yeah, I remember I had to wiggle over because, excuse me, there were cars that needed to get by that couldn't squeeze by. So, yeah, before I even unstrap the load, I'm going to get out, talk with the guy, and let him know that I would only be comfortable leaving it the last place that I left it. So, and there I left it probably like 200 feet from the curb. So, I told him about the pothole-ridden road, and he was just like, "Oh, that you could just drive through the field." Like, I'm not driving through the field. Yeah.
All right. So as the customer's approaching, I'm gonna fill you in on something. So the reason why driving any forklift or any machinery that does not have suspension is very dangerous on uneven or pothole-ridden roads is because if the pothole is a cup, right, and as you're driving, and let's say, even if it's the smallest cup of a pothole or a bump, once you go and your tire like rides into it and it hits the edge of the pothole, if there's something that's that is really smooth, it can come sliding off the forklift. Like, I'll give you an example. I actually had a delivery in Bridgeport, and it was a double one way. So you go down one street, and then if you make a right, it's a one way to go to the right. The same street at the stop sign, if you make a left, it's a one way to go left. So it's a double one way, but it's the same street, but it's just two separate one ways going two opposite directions. So I actually had a delivery on the right, and then I actually had a delivery on the left. To the delivery on the left, and I remember this one clearly because it was right on the same street that my that some family lives on. Um, they were building a brand new house, and they ordered OSB. If you don't know what OSB is, it's plywood, and it's very it's not there isn't really a sheen to it, but it's compressed wood. And that street called Center Street, in Bridgeport, um, it's always jam packed for parking. Always. Nonetheless, there's no parking for an 18 wheeler. Driving after I did the delivery to the right, because that one, the delivery to the right was sheetrock going to a warehouse. I've talked about it before in my videos. This warehouse used to buy bulk sheetrock and compound, joint compound tape, stuff like that from Home Depot because they would get it for like dirt cheap prices. And we would deliver it to their warehouse where they would go ahead and sell it and deliver it to other contractors. But further down the street, which is the one that had the pothole ridden, the pothole road that I went down, I had, I think it was like a bunk and a half of OSB plywood, and I went down the road, and plywood is heavy enough that you have to keep it above your wheels on the Moffat. Now, if you don't know, the Moffat slash piggyback does not have a counterweight. So, because it does not have a counterweight, in order for you to put the material out in front of your wheels and set it down, um, it's probably best that you don't do that while you're moving and you're at a full complete stop, and you may or may not need to use your stabilizers, which are these big hydraulic legs that push down on the floor in front of the Moffat to keep the back wheel planted. So, because of the weight of the OSB, you can't ride with it out in front of your wheels without the back wheel coming off, most likely, because not all OSB weighs the same, and a few pounds does make a difference. And then if your back wheel does come up off the ground, you don't really have a very good chance at stopping or turning to avoid an obstacle. So you have to ride with the OSB above your tires, and I hit the pothole, so it was just enough force to stop my wheel just momentarily, just stop my wheel momentarily, and the whole bunk of plywood came sliding off the forks. And I ended up blocking traffic for like the better part of an hour. And there was another guy making a Home Depot delivery to that same house. And I had asked him, I was like, hey, do you think you could help me pick up the sheetrock? Not the sheetrock, the OSB, and put it on the forks. And he's like, sorry, man, I really wish I could help you. I got other deliveries to make. I said, okay, cool, understandable. So, mind you, it's a one way, it's parking on both sides of the street, completely jam packed, and I'm sitting there picking up stacks of OSB by myself, hand stacking them back onto the forks because I wasn't even in front of the customer's house, and I think it was about a bunk and a half because I remember like a couple guys came to help me with like the last couple of sheets because it was like so high that it was just like that, and I was so fatigued that it's just lifting multiple sheets at a time in a time crunch. It's not like I could take my time and I had hours to do it. So just keep that in mind when this customer asked me to drive down his driveway on a pothole ridden driveway. And then if you listen to what I just said in the video, that the guy said it was cool to drive through the field. Look how tall that grass is. This is like the logic of customers. Okay, so my road is not viable or isn't safe for a delivery, but you can go ahead and drive through my tall grass knowing that you cannot see any dips, any ruts in front of you. And look, as you can see, it had been raining. So what do you think is in that field? Soft dirt, maybe? Soft dirt, soft wet dirt, dirt and water make mud. Come on. Like you guys can't make this up. Can't even make this up. So let's go ahead and jump back into it. If we're still good, let me know you guys can still hear and see the video.
That's crazy. So, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. And just see how it goes from there. Morning. Going. I don't remember, but I called. And the note said that I didn't call. Yeah, this is the same exact.
And if memory serves me correctly, really quick, there's no cell phone service out there. I had to drive, like, there's like a little group of trees that I had to park next to get cell phone service out there. Like, it was just nuts. And it was like one bar.
Road that I delivered last time.
This part is the worst part, all the way up to those trees.
Yeah.
And then it gets better.
Yeah.
I always drive down the middle.
So notice what he just said. This part is the worst part up until you get to the trees. And he's pointing to the trees that we can see off in the distance. So from experience, I will tell you that customers will say stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying that he's not being truthful. All I'm simply saying is that you already drove past the worst parts to the farthest point that your eye can see. And hey, man, you already made it this far. You might as well bring it the rest of the way. That's how they try to get you. So for any new owner operators, Moffat drivers, piggyback drivers, that's how they get you. They will tell you something as silly as that. So this is like a two-part. He just said that up until that tree line, okay, the tree line is where there's a curve in the road. You can't see past that curve. How far is the property past that curve? So then what they'll do is they'll give you like a qualifier like word where it's like this is the worst part of it. And but once you get past this up to the tree line, that's the worst part. Once you get past the tree line, smooth sailing. And then it'll be like another half a mile of pothole ridden road. And then you're like, no, I didn't sign up for this. And then now you're like stuck between a rock and a hard place where you're like, the customer's like, well, you already made it halfway. You might as well bring it all the way. And then you're like, nah, man, I really don't feel comfortable. He's like, do you really not feel comfortable, or do you just not feel like doing your job? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just set it back here. And customers will be like, well, then you know what? I don't want it. And then you're like, dang, what do I do now? I just drop it off. Most times, I would say like 7 times out of 10, I would just leave it there, tell them to call the store for any, you know, location that you work for. Call the store and schedule a pickup because our job is to deliver it curbside. Now we deliver it within reason, but it's like, how far is it from the road to that tree line that we have to subject your material to possible damage and liability on the driver and the company to accept any damages that may occur from driving it on that road that you already said at the beginning of the video, you know, you don't really feel comfortable driving down the road. Now, if you paid attention, he also mentioned, I normally drive down the middle. Where else are you going to drive your blue Camry? In the field? Let's see you drive your Camry right through that field. Let's see what happens. So the Moffitt has 3 tires, 2 in the front, 1 in the rear. The Moffitt has a wheel span of about 8.5 feet. Where else do you think I'm going to drive it? I got one option in the middle. Like, oh, okay. Do you have a video for this just getting here? What do you mean by that, Nick?
Drive down the middle where?
On the grass.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't even do that. I mean, the machine is 8.5 feet wide. It's wider than the vehicle in your car. So, yeah, no, I wouldn't bring it all the way down there, but so I'd probably bring it to like that last stake that I brought it to last time. Be the farthest I'd bring it.
I got $100.
I wouldn't even do it.
$100.
No, thank you.
Why?
It's a curbside delivery.
Yeah, but I asked him for no curbs. I asked him to go all the way to the dumpster.
Yeah, no. It's a curbside delivery. I'll bring it to the place that I brought it last time. I wouldn't drive all the way down there. Besides, this stuff is really heavy. Mm-hmm.
So I used to see in the comments, people are like, dude, $100, easy money. Do you know how much it would cost to replace that material? Like, my time being out there is worth more than $100. Never mind replacing the cost of the material. Never mind, damaging the material, possibly the pallet breaking because the material is so heavy, and then having to pick it all up and then explain it to the store you picked it up from that you didn't feel comfortable doing it, but you did it anyway. And then the customer bribes you $100, and then he's gonna go and tell the store that because it's not a tip. A tip is for a job well done. A tip is for a job well done. A bribe, it's the bribe. Believe me, it's a bribe. So yeah, people will always tell you like, dude, it's $100. It's it's easy money. Why don't you take it? There's a reason why he's offering $100, because the equipment he would have to rent to get that out there, to get the material out there to where he's talking about by the dumpster. God knows how far that dumpster actually is. It would take the amount of money that I would be saving him, we would be saving him, would be astronomical. That's why he's not renting it, because not only is he going to have to, pay for the delivery of the equipment rental, pay for the equipment rental, and then depending on the equipment, he's probably going to have to rent a driver. And I'm supposed to do all that for a simple $80 and then drive it a mile down the road on some unpaved, pothole ridden road, and I get hit with all the risk, all the liability, waste precious time out of my day that I could be out servicing other customers. It's crazy. The amount of feud that there would be between stores because we couldn't service more customers in our 14-hour workday because we were held up at another customer's location. It's kind of crazy. That's something that's often not talked about. Nick, we are watching the video right now. What's up, Logan? Exactly. Yep. Logan's right on point.
All right, so we got these two bunks right here. I don't. Do I got to wrap up one strap? I think I do. Yeah. So when I was at the pickup, when I was at the pickup location, the guy that was taking it off the top overhead shelf or whatever, he put it down like momentarily, and he put it up on like, I don't know, the side of I don't know. There was like I guess where they store the lumber at, and he put it there, and then just this one started cracking. I think the wood, it started making noise and creaking and all of that stuff, and he had to hurry up and scooch it over, and then we had to put it on like a cart.
So if you listen to what I just said in the video, the pallet already started cracking and breaking. So keep that in mind now that I'm here on site. And this is like the foundation of your castle. This is like the cornerstone of your building. If this goes, the rest of that material is you're not in good hands.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to unstrap this all so that way I could remove that top bunk, because I don't want that top bunk is not banded to the bottom bunk. And that's
Fun fact for you. If you have two bunks that are back to back, and the top bunk on this side isn't banded to the one on the bottom. Sorry, my dog is just being a clingy boy. Come here. Come. And that top bunk is not secure to the bottom bunk, and the bunk on the other side isn't as high, the bunk on top is going to take the path of least resistance. So I think this customer is going to be getting the material that is right in front of us, and it might also be the material to the left. And maybe that's why I'm saying I'm going to unstack the two. If not, I'm playing it safe, but I don't really remember what happens in this video.
It's going to be a lot of weight on one side, and then I'm going to move it to this side. So, yeah, these three straps, I'm not even going to I'm going to undo them, but I'm not going to throw them. So, yeah, so I don't know. You can't please everybody. This guy.
Oh, you can't see the video? All right, hold on. You can hear it, but all right. So is the video not playing? Guys, hold on. All right. So why don't I do this? I'll start the video over. I said at the beginning of the stream, hey, let me know if you guys can see everything. I said that. All right. All right. So you guys cannot see the video. All right. We're going to start the video over. Let me know if you guys can see it and hear it. Okay. Sorry. I asked that in the beginning of the stream and no one had any objections. So I thought we were all good. That's why I rely on you guys for feedback. All right. I'm going to start it over from the beginning. And just give me a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear it and see it, as in the video. Not just me, but the video.
Even the depths of hell could have forged a diamond this special.
What up, y'all? We back. Good morning. So here's the situation. So we're on our way to a return customer. That's a weird road. Yeah, we're on our way to a return customer. I'll try to post this video right after.
All right, so can you guys hear and see the video? All right, cool. So now, question, do you want me to let it resume from where it is now or go back to me explaining and you guys watching from where the video was with the customer? Got it, Nick. All right. So maybe I could have worded that a little bit different. I don't know where the mess up was. So do you want me to start the video over or resume it from where it was? Start from where I left off. Okay. So bear with me a second and I will fast forward it. Because I just started it over. But if you want me to fast forward to where the customer is, and then we'll just go from there. Or I'm sorry, right after the customer. All right. So right about here is where I was. Is that good, or do you want me to start it from the beginning? All right. So I'll just start it. Yeah. All right. This is good. Perfect.
Yeah, so when I was at the pickup, location, the guy that was taking it off the top overhead shelf or whatever, he put it down like momentarily, and he put it up on like, I don't know, the side of I don't know. There was like I guess where they store the lumber at, and he put it there, and then just this one started cracking. I think the wood, it started making noise and creaking and all of that stuff, and he had to hurry up and scooch it over, and then we had to put it on like a cart. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to unstrap this all so that way I could remove that top bunk, because I don't want that top bunk is not banded to the bottom bunk. and that's gonna be a lot of weight on one side, and then I'm gonna move it to this side. So, yeah, these 3 straps, I'm not even gonna I'm gonna undo them, but I'm not gonna throw them. So, yeah. So I don't know. You can't please everybody. This guy.
All right, so I just included the link to the video in the chat. So if you guys want to go back after the stream is over to watch the full video, the link for that video is in the chat.
The guy was, as you guys just saw, the customer was upset, but that bottom board was cracking, and that was just from bringing it down off the top shelf onto like an uneven surface. But what do you think is going to happen when I try to bring that all the way down there? And then if those hardy boards, because basically what these are is they're really, really heavy cement boards, and I guess these are used for siding, which I'm not sure, how that goes. I'm not really in the business of knowing, how they hold up these boards, but they're really heavy. So when the guy at the shipper went to go load this on the trailer, and he went to go stop, the back tires of their forklift lifted up. Man, I wish I could have caught that on camera for you guys, but I don't.
All right, so if you guys were paying attention, I was talking about how heavy that material was. I actually forgot what kind of material it was until I just mentioned it. So it's hardy board. So hardy board is basically sheets of concrete that they normally put on siding. So they'll put that up, and then I guess they'll put siding on top of it. I'm not sure. I'm not in the official business of construction. So it's legit sheets of concrete. And I said that it was so heavy that when they went to go put it on my truck and they went to go stop the forklift so that they can lower the material onto the truck, the back wheels on their forklift came up off the ground, and their forklift has a counterweight. The Moffett does not. Those piggybacks do not have counterweights. So if the store who has millions of dollars invests money into these forklifts that have these huge lifting capacities in a controlled environment, what do you think is going to happen to the guy who gets paid $80 a delivery to deliver that material with a forklift in a non-controlled setting on a pothole-ridden road? What do you guys think is going to happen? Seems crazy. Let that idea just run amok in your brain for a little bit. We'll come back and we'll revisit that.
I don't really record at the shipper too often, so not to say that I haven't done it, but I just don't do it because there's a lot of things that go on that it would just be time consuming to watch and all that fun stuff, and edit out anything. And
I say that, but I really meant what I'm about to say. There's a lot of shenanigans going on at a lot of shipping locations that would drive the normal person insane. The amount of downtime or the amount of time that a trucker waits is ridiculous. It should be a crime. It should be a crime for us to pull up to a shipper and our material not be staged and ready to get loaded. I used to argue with or even have conversations with people at these shipping locations. And I used to say, it takes me on average, under 10 minutes, about 10 to 15 minutes to do a delivery. And that includes showing up, clocking in, unstrapping, watching out for traffic, wrapping up the straps, getting the forklift down from the back, unchaining it, getting the forklift down, coming around the truck, watching out for traffic, figuring out where the customer wants the material, seeing if it's actually doable. Are there any liabilities involved? All of that comes into play. Driving it down the driveway, setting it down nicely so I don't mess up their brand new asphalt. You know, putting any straps back on the material that needs to be restrapped, getting the forklift back up on the truck, rechaining it, doing my logbook, calling the next customer. I didn't even mention taking the picture of the material, having the customer sign the phone. Hope that they don't drop your $1,200 cell phone. And we do all that in under 10 to 15 minutes. There's times where we've waited a minimum of hours for our truck to be loaded. And then people are like, well, why don't you just load yourself? Because that's not my job. I don't get paid to load myself. Well, don't you want to get in and get out? I mean, I still get paid for the full day, whether I work it or not. So, yeah, it'd be cool. But no, not really. Because then a lot of those locations are multitasking. And what I mean by that, not too many people, as I'm going to use the words of an assistant manager, a lot of these associates can't skip rope and chew bubblegum at the same time. And what I mean by that is that while you're loading the truck and they're loading the truck, there's no way for them to keep tabs on, they could, you know, in the midst of you loading the truck, let's say the associate points to like a bunk of lumber and they're like, oh, that goes for customer XYZ. You load it on the truck and then you go to deliver it and then you find out that's not for that customer. Some of the loads are improperly tagged. There's just like a lot of shenanigans that goes on. And that's really what I meant to say in this video, but I didn't say it. There's just a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that you guys never saw. I did share it in a few videos though, which was great.
So, yeah, so he just tried to give me $100 just to bring it all the way down. Sorry, not worth my time, not worth the aggravation.
What's going on,
not
Smooth?
Worth the headache of possibly dropping the load, possibly breaking something.
Everyone smash that like button, chime in the comment section. There should be at least 16 likes on this video. There's 16 of you guys live watching. Don't be ninja watchers. Smash the like button. It's what the algorithm uses to pump our content out to more and more people. And if you guys like this content, let me know by leaving it in the comments. If you guys want me to do more video breakdowns like this in the future, let me know.
The board's cracking and breaking, and then anything else that goes along with it, So, and then on top of that, you can't even see where you can't even see where the house is that they're building, Like normally, if I can't see the house from the road, I'm not even going to attempt to bring it all the way up. I'll bring it, 100, 200 feet. Some guy in the comment section said it last time that, because I said it was probably about 100 feet, but he said it was about 200 feet. So, well, that's what the guy in the comment section said. So we'll just go based off of that, because perception is reality. And if you look at it that way, I did 200 feet more than what I was supposed to be on curbside. So
can't complain.
And that's why that guy sped off, and He's like, well, I told him it can't be left down in the driveway. Well, I don't know what you want me to do. It's
Hey, Kathy, if you want to do a podcast episode, tell us some of your crazy stories. Email me or DM us on Instagram at Safford Delivery, and we'll set up a time and a day for you to join the live and tell us about your experience. I would love to have you on and hear and learn from you and your experiences, as I think we all would.
This is kind of like one of those difficult situations, you know. It's like you want to make people happy, but then no good deed goes unpunished. Because then if I would have accepted the $100, he's gonna be like, "Oh, the driver wouldn't do it unless I paid him extra." You know, if he really wanted to put us out there like that, you know. And I said it before, you know, a tip well done. Like, for instance, I had a customer before. You know, I had a customer. I think it was on the. Oh man, what was it? What was the name of the video that I did? Full consent. The name of the video was Full Consent. So basically, the guy knew the other driver's name, and he was just like, "Dude, I'll sign a waiver. I'll even let you record it. I'll let you record me saying that I'm not gonna have you responsible for any damages, this, that, and the third." And then he was like, "Dude, I'll give you money for it." And I was like, "Dude, I don't care about the money." But, you know, then he had like these steel crates or whatever. And this was around the time when I started dabbling into, you know, trying to eliminate liability claims as much as possible, you know. And I was just like, all right, bro, just like this one time or whatever. And
fun fact for you, that a lot of times, even if you have a liability waiver, you guys could take this with a grain of salt. Any customers watching this or any of the drivers watching this, heed this warning. Even if you have a limit of liability waiver signed by the customer, the contractor, or whoever, if you do deliveries for these big box stores and you're a third party delivery service, or you're getting a delivery from a third party delivery service, a lot of times the stores will not honor their own waiver. And in order to mitigate the risk of liability on the big box store, they'll just slide it to the driver and then to the company, and then either the company will pay out or it'll go to their claims department. In some cases, they'll actually take it out of your, if it's reasonable enough, they'll actually take it out of your settlement. So take that with a grain of salt, because I think the logic is that if a customer does have a complaint about damage, why would the big box store try to protect you when they're gonna be like, that's not our fault. That's why we hired them. That's why we hire those guys. They're supposed to be the best. So if you guys want to go after them for a claim, by all means, it's not going to hurt us one bit, because they don't work for us. They just do our deliveries and we pay them to do our deliveries. Take it with a grain of salt. Now, if you didn't know, now you know.
He was just like, all right, cool, da-da-da. Like, I appreciate it. And he seemed like one of those guys that literally did not give a crap about his lawn or anything like that. He's like, dude, it's grass. It's going to grow back. I'm not worried about it. Dude, I'll sign the paperwork, this, that, and third. You know, everything that made, you know, me comfortable to drive on his property. And again, it is a curbside delivery, and anything beyond curbside is driver discretion. But then I get some people are like, oh, I'm going to call, who can I call to have you, you know, do this? Who's your boss? Dude,
Another fun fact for you. Sorry we keep pausing. This is the video breakdown. You want to watch the full video uninterrupted, the link is in the comment section. Let me see if I could just pin it really quick. There you go. So there's a link if you want to watch the full video unedited, or you know, without the breakdown. But there's you got to feel your customers out. For any new drivers that are doing this, you cannot take everyone's word for it. You know, there are certain customers that you build a reputation with. Like there was one guy I did a delivery, pellet fuel delivery for like 3 seasons, and 2 out of the 3 seasons, I never put the pellet fuel inside of his garage. And he told me he used to drive for Lowe's and he used to do the same thing I do. Why can't I do it? This, that, and the third. But I'm like, dude, it's just liability, man. Just liability. He was like, dude, I trust you. You know, if you break something, I'll fix it. It's not a problem. I won't complain. This, that, and the third. And at first, I was like, nah, man, I'm good. Like, it's not worth it for me. But then, you know, after a while, you get a feel for people. I'm not saying you could trust everyone, but there's just some people you won't even bend a twig for. But then there's some people you'll chop down a whole tree for, because it's customers like that that keep you employed. So,
And my boss. So again, I'm going to wrap up these straps and just tuck them underneath. And then, so that way I can move that lumber to this side once I'm done. Yeah, last time I parked down there on the left, and that was, I had to wiggle all the way over so traffic could get by. So let me go ahead and move out this guy's way. So yeah, so sorry to, wow, you're crazy, man. Dude, you can see that guy's butt cheeks through his freaking pants. That's freaking hilarious. Oh my god. All right, cool. So this one I gotta grab the kickers. That one already has kickers underneath it. This one I'm gonna attempt to pick it up. Nah, you know what? I'm gonna just cut the straps on it now because this was heavy enough. That right there was heavy enough to make the back tires on their forklift lift up. Never mind. You know, my stabilizers are gonna sink, so I'm good. A lot of traffic for this little tight little road. So yeah, I'm gonna just cut the straps right now and then just deliver them separately. I gotta grab the kickers from that one.
all right. So if you guys don't know what kickers are, all it is basically dunnage. If you don't know what dunnage is, they're basically just like pieces of sticks or pieces of material to keep the bottom of the product up off the deck of the trailer so you have enough space to slide your forks in. Normally, dunnage is expendable, so most stores will actually happily give it away if they have extra. I don't recommend that you use it for firewood unless you can verify that the dunnage has only been heat treated and not pressure treated, or hasn't been treated with any chemicals. But yeah, typically dunnage is just there. It's just throwaway product, like throwaway pieces of wood and stuff like that, to help either secure or protect your product that you actually paid for. And what I'm doing now is I am cutting the white straps and the plastic wrap to separate the bunks to deliver them in two separate chunks. Because as I mentioned, this whole chunk was heavy enough to lift up the wheels on a forklift that has a counterweight in a controlled environment at the shipping location. Never mind me showing up in in a remote area, no cell phone service, on a forklift with no counterweight, stabilizers only, and a pothole ridden road. So the last thing I want is that stuff to come flying off the truck, and then now the guy's calling the cops because I blocked his driveway because the material fell on his driveway and he can't get out. And then I gotta take the forklift and shove everything off the road. Believe me, stuff like that happens more often than you think.
My worst fear right now is if I go, let's say my machine is able to pick up both of these at the same time, and then I get over there and then I can't, then my stabilizer starts sinking, or because of the safety of the trailer, I'm able to pick it up, and even if the back tire comes up, I can retract my forks quick enough to get the load all the way back. That's still going to pose an issue when I go down the driveway to go drop it off, because once I do that, I don't have the safety of the trailer to lean up against to prevent the load from falling forward and the whole machine. So I think I'm going to just play it safe on this one, because like I said, that cement board is extremely heavy. So Dr. Pepper Kev, if you're watching, make sure you leave a comment. So after you put your seatbelt on, I'm going to pull the third lever back. That's the tilt function. I'm going to push the second lever forward. That's the mass forward, in and out kind of thing function. The reach part. So I'm going to push forward just a little bit so my tires aren't dragging on the bottom plate. I'm going to push forward to push myself away from the trailer. Then I'm going to pull the first lever down or back to bring me down. I'm going to finish tilting forward with the third lever and then pull up. I'm going to pull back on the first lever so I can lift my forks. So I'm going to lower my forks right now, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread them, because you don't want them too narrow when you're lifting this heavy stuff.
So in that sequence, 3, 2, 1 gets the forklift off of the back of the truck. The third is the tilt function. So the second lever is the push and pull function, or the extend retract function. And then the first one is raise and lower. And then I'm spreading my forks now to give me better product stabilization, because the material is so long.
And then another thing is, when it's all boiled down to it, the market manager, the general manager of the market, they agree it's a curbside delivery. I do what I can. I do what, if it's too long of a driveway, who's to say that, we have to drive a quarter of a mile or half a mile down someone's driveway. Now, you guys probably seen me do videos before in the past where I go to do a delivery and then the street is long, and then I have no choice but to bring it down the street and get it to the driveway. But if it's too sketchy or whatnot, it's like, why bother?
Just keep in mind that if a customer has a quarter of a mile, half a mile long driveway, whatever the distance is, you automatically got to double that per lift. So I'll just put it in perspective. Let's say a customer orders 6 tons of pellet fuel and they have a half a mile long driveway. You're going to multiply that half a mile by 12 because you're going to pick up a pallet, you're going to bring it down the driveway. That's one trip. Then you got to drive back down the driveway to the truck to grab the second pallet. That's the second trip. That's only one pallet. And that's a mile on the forklift. Now, these forklifts don't have a really fast top speed, nor do I think they should. But a little faster would be would be really good, especially if you're empty. Um, but if you have 6 tons, you just drove a mile on a slow forklift to deliver 1 ton, and you got 5 more. So then, we get comments like, "Oh, dude, why don't you just back your trailer down the driveway?" Oh yeah, and what? Airlift the damn pallets off the back of the trailer? Like, like we're talking residential customers. And another thing, you got 6 tons. That's 12,000 pounds. That's not even including the weight of the forklift, the weight of the trailer, the weight of the tractor, the weight of the fuel, the weight of the other material on that truck. Do you think residential driveways are rated to hold up to 80,000 pounds? No. Then what happens when you crack the driveway? You're responsible to pay for it. You see how quickly things can escalate? So if you guys are new owner operators, if you guys are just getting into this business, there's so much liability that's involved in this industry. And it's not even funny. These are the things that people don't think about.
And if the driveway's too long, I've seen customers with half-mile long driveways and trailer fulls of this stuff.
So Nick just said you have a twin. There is a channel called Victory Concrete. Dude name is Ray. Y'all look and sound alike. Have you seen that channel? I've seen the channel. Do I watch the channel? No. Someone has tagged me in it. I don't really think I look much like the guy, to be honest. Nor do I think I sound like him. I've also gotten that I sound like Bay Area Transparency, and then also I sound like Dale Doback from Step Brothers.
Thanks, but no thanks, man. So, just a small bunk was heavy enough to crack the wood on the bottom. Oh yeah, look, you can see it right there. That's crazy. So I'm gonna lift this up real quick, grab the kickers. Yep. Yeah, sometimes, customers will slip up and say, oh, that, the delivery guy wouldn't do the delivery unless I tipped him. That's not really the case because a lot of times people don't tip, before the delivery is done, they tip afterwards. And there's one contractor that super cool, super nice guy, and he tips ahead of time because he knows that we show up and we kick ass. And I got to take it super slow right here. We show up and we kick butt, and we do an amazing job. Look how deep these ruts are. No thanks. He's like, oh, it's horrible here, but when you go further down, it gets better. Better than this? I don't know about all that. So, he tips ahead of time, and then, he told the shipper that the only reason why we do it is for a tip. You know, you tip us for a job well done. So, you know, I made a vow that I'll never take another penny from that guy again, because he made it seem like we only do good jobs for the tip. I mean, we do good jobs for tips, but anything beyond curbside, you know, if we get, I've explained this before in another video, if we get it to curbside, our job is 100% complete. If we get it up your driveway, it's 200% complete. Or anything beyond curbside is 200% complete. But if we get it exactly to where you want it, you know, within reason, or even exactly where you want it, that's, I don't think I'm going to need a third one. You know, that's going to be, you know, 300%. And, you know, going above and beyond the call, making, you know, customers happy.
All right, so now I'm going to pose a question to everyone in the chat. I want everybody's feedback. How long, let's just say this is like the perfectly paved driveway. You know, aside from you doing like a negligent act, there's no way that you can mess up this driveway. How long is too long of a driveway that's inaccessible from both sides of the trailer? Excuse me. How long, like, what is a reasonable distance? You know, you got customers that have, you know, maybe a driveway that can hold 2 to 3 vehicles. That's fine. But when you start getting into quarter, half a mile, 3/4 of a mile, or when you got customers that got driveways that you can't even see the end of it from the road where you park your truck, how long is too long of a driveway? Chime in the comment section. Let me know. And then, does it also depend on the material? Because, you know, maybe it's just a skid of mulch. What if it's 7? What if they got the whole truck? What if it's just 2 16-foot boards and a box of nails? Does that matter? How long is too long? Specifically, right? Keep in mind, if you guys are watching this video and you guys are new owner operators and you guys are getting into this industry, or you just don't know what all this is about, keep in mind you get paid salary for the day. So do I really want to spend my day driving 12 miles? The reason why I say 12 miles for one delivery, you know, bringing 6 tons of pellet fuel up a half a mile long driveway, is 12 miles driven on a forklift. I don't even think the forklifts at these stores get that much use in 2 days. 12 miles, and I'm doing that for one delivery? Oh, okay. So, yeah, let me know down in the comment section. How long is reasonable for a driveway? Let me know in the comments. I'll give you guys a second to answer that. How long is too long of a driveway? Is it material? Does it depend on the material? You know, how much time should you spend per delivery? Because you got to remember also, every minute that you spend on this one delivery is 1 minute you're not somewhere else, maybe avoiding rush hour traffic. You know, every minute counts. Beating that traffic, you guys know that, especially if you live in the inner cities. And then every minute you spend on this one customer, that's time that you don't have to go do your other deliveries. Now your market manager is questioning your integrity and questioning your performance, and you're like, dude, I had to drive 12 miles. And then they're like, nah. So then what you do is you ping the mailbox, and then you track how far you went down the driveway, and it says 0.47 miles. And then you hit start on your Google Maps, and then it says it's a 7-minute ride one way. And he's like, can't you go any faster? And you're like, if I could see, I would. Can't you do it backwards? Well, seeing how there's a hill at the beginning of this guy's driveway, how am I going to go up backwards? The material's going to be facing downhill. Let's see how well that pans out. There's so many variables. Yeah, so let me know down in the comment section. How long is too long of a driveway?
You know, sometimes no good deed goes unpunished, and you know what? I will never take another tip from that guy ever again. You know, so there was one customer that we delivered we attempted to deliver to. Let me see if there's a poll here. There was one customer that we attempted to deliver to.
I actually have that video queued up, so if you guys want to watch that one, we'll watch that one as well.
He had a whole truckload worth of stuff, and there was almost no shoulder, and it was on Route 1 down in Rhode Island. I think it was still considered Charlestown. And I'm looking, so I pull up to where the delivery was. There's a long driveway uphill. You can kind of see the house from the road, but the road, it's a long, windy, curvy road. And
make sure you guys smash that like button, or I'll start playing some annoying music.
I look at the road, and I look at his delivery, and, you know, trying to think about how long it's going to take me to drop it off. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm good, dude. Like, there's no way. This is unsafe. And then so the shipper tried to escalate the order, meaning like they're like, oh, this order gotta go out. This, that, the third. Yeah, look at that. My back tires are already coming up. So I'm gonna just lift it straight up. I can pull it back and get just a little bit of a better.
So the back tire's coming up with just one bunk, and it wasn't even completely on the forks yet. So imagine 2 bunks. So one bunk is heavy enough to make my back tire come up without the stabilizers. 2 bunks, I already said it in the beginning of the video, that the forklift at the shipper that has a built-on counterweight can't even handle the weight of 2 of these safely. And I'm expected to drive down a pothole-ridden road to deliver these.
Better grab on it. I think I'm all the way through, but just to be on the safe side, you know. I don't want to bump it. But, yeah. So, all right. So I'm all the way back here. My stabilizers are up, and so they were like, "Oh yeah, this customer desperately needs it." So they sent out another driver. The other driver shows up with the same exact load that I had, because they went to the same shipper to get loaded. And then the market manager went there to help direct traffic and stuff. Which if you don't know, Route 1 is a highway. And I told him, I was like, dude, oh, yeah, see? Yeah, I'm good. And look, there's already broken boards on top. And hold on, let me take a picture of that. Because I didn't see that because it was on top of my truck.
If you guys are doing this kind of work, you should always document it. The earliest that you can find out, like the earliest that you see any defects or anything like that, you document it. Preferably at the shipper, make someone aware of it, preferably a manager, and possibly even have them sign off that on your paperwork, hey, 4 boards are damaged. And then have them sign it and date the paperwork. So that way it's dated, you have the photos for a timestamp, and they can't refute it. They can't dispute it.
Yeah, there's already broken boards on top. That's crazy. And you guys didn't hear anything crack or break when I was pulling it off. See, this is that liability thing I was telling you guys about.
Yeah.
See, I gotta be careful with these poles, so you know what? I'm gonna spin it around. Just take it nice and easy. I'm gonna just spin it around so that way I can see behind me and I don't have to lift it up more than I need to.
That's another thing too. So when the material is right above your forks or the lowest to the ground as possible, which is like hovering right above the ground, obviously the lower the material is lower to the ground, um, the less risk of liability that there's going to be anything that happens to it. But also, you got to remember with the pothole analogy, when you ride over it and your wheel gets like bounces off the lip of the pothole. One thing I didn't mention, when you're up in the air and you have longer material, anything longer than your truck, your forklift, there's always a greater risk of liability for the material to come off your fork sideways, because I never mentioned how deep the pothole or the rut in the road was. So if you hit just something just quick, simple, not only could it stop your tire really quick, but that jolt above eye level when you're sitting in that seat gets magnified the higher up your material is. So the higher up your material is, the more it is at risk of getting knocked over or tipping over. That's why you always need to keep the center of gravity the lowest. You always have to keep the heavy stuff as low to the ground as possible. So keep that in mind when we're going through this video.
So yeah, he shows up with the market manager.
Now, if you look right here, I'm looking directly straight ahead at the sheetrock, and it's just at about eye level. You can't put it too low because then the tires can eat into the material. So anything that's wide, that's as wide as your tires, you have to be careful of that.
Told the market manager, I was like, that's not what I meant by an escort. You know, you guys need, a police escort is someone with authority to shut down lanes of traffic, because the guy had stuff on both sides. There wasn't much of a shoulder, and it's a 4-lane highway split. So I'm like, there's 2 lanes of traffic. The truck is already taken up, half of the first lane, so cars are already forced to move over. And sure enough, the other driver showed up, and then I think either a state trooper or a DOT pulled up right behind him and told him to get off the road. He didn't say it so nicely, but from hearsay, that's what I heard. And then the driver took a picture of the state police or the DOT officer talking to the market manager. And DOT or the state trooper was like, I don't care what you're delivering, get off the road. And, yep, so it was no longer our problem after that. So, thank goodness it's driver discretion. Thank goodness it's, I made that call to begin with the first time because I knew it was unsafe. And, yep. So the next one I'm going to put like right here. I don't want to put it on top of that. I'm going to back up, grab that plastic off my wheels. Now I got to grab the plastic at the end there. I'm stuck on the stabilizer. But yeah, this is part of the reason why I record, because that could possibly get blamed on me, and all I got to do is just find this bit of the video, and you can see what in here, because that would have made noise if I would have dropped it or broke it or something.
Yep.
Which I didn't do either, so. And these moppets.
Now, making up for lost time, I'm actually going pretty fast down this road. Significantly faster than when I had the load on the forks.
Don't have suspension, so you feel everything. I'm gonna pull past it just so I'm not marching all through the mud. If you guys made it this far, make sure you leave it down in the comment section. You made it this far. I do appreciate you guys watching. But this is a heavy, dangerous...
Smash that like button
if you're not careful. And I'll grab that van once I get it off the road with the other stack. I'm going to move the truck afterwards and undo that top bump.
Yep.
Yeah, see, if I didn't have the trailer in front of me, stopping that leg from going forward, I would just fall forward. Alright. Let me see, something's not right. So I'm trying to pick it up, and it feels like something's holding it. Now we're good. And you guys see how long it's taking me to do this half of the delivery. So imagine if I were to bring it to the job site all the way down there, and I don't know what I'm signing up for, but on the map it looks like it goes pretty far. So I'm gonna bring this down, get off the road. Set the parking brake, jump off. Grab this van. You don't want to leave trash behind. Well, somewhere where it's not supposed to be anyway.
Yep.
And grab this. This was original material.
So I'm leaving that trash behind because I'm not taking it with me. so the customer could deal with that. It was original packaging. It kind of came off. I put it right back with the material. They can deal with it.
That's supposed to come with it. And then what I'm going to do, take it easy, nice and slow. Those potholes are nothing to play with. So.
Earlier in the video, the guy said we could drive through his, I forgot what he called it, his yard or whatever, through the field. He said we could drive through the field. Look how wet that field looks. Like, no, sir. Get out of my swamp. This is my swamp. No thanks. We didn't sign up to make some field swamp soup and then get charged back for it. Look how deep those ruts are right there.
Yep. Since I don't load this stuff, I didn't see the damage on top because it came right off the overhead. And then we start turning a little bit. Yeah, it came right off the overhead and then onto the truck. So
that's how they hide a lot of damage too, because they'll stage it in the overheads, and then that's why I always recommend that you watch when they load your truck or unload your truck, because then they could load you with some damaged product, and because you know, if you're doing this line of work, you got a flatbed, anything that comes off your truck, you're responsible for it. So let's say, you know, they put a box of rebar poles or stakes in there, and then the box of rebars has a hole in it, and then a rebar spike comes out and goes through someone's windshield. You're responsible for that. It was a part of your load. But you're like, how am I supposed to see that when it's all wrapped up in this thing? But clearly wasn't good enough, and it somehow came out. Doesn't matter. It's your fault. So keep that in mind. A lot of liability.
my mast is only halfway extended. So what I'm going to do is drive forward a little bit, lock the brakes, bring it down, and push forward. I came super close. Too bad this wasn't in 4D. You guys would have been losing your mind. That branch came towards you.
That we need a smell-o-vision.
The brakes, back up, lift up the stabilizers, pull the forks back. That pretty much sums up this video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm gonna head back to the truck. I'm gonna move the truck over, get the lumber on the other side, and then go from there. So I'm gonna make sure I take multiple pictures. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.
As you should always document your deliveries with multiple photos, so that way the customer can never say you didn't get them. But yeah, what do you guys think of this video? Let me know down in the comments. If you guys have any questions, now would be the time, because it is getting late for me, and I've been up since 12:30, midnight. So if you have any questions, if you guys want to see another video, if you guys want me to go live tomorrow, I have a Friday's feast scheduled for you guys for tomorrow. Yeah, let me know. Chime in the comment section. Make sure you smash that like button too. So yeah, the video that we just saw was called $100 Bribe, Why No Good Deed Goes Unpunished. So yeah, if you guys want to do another video breakdown, let me know. It won't be today though, because Papa has to go take a shower, get to bed. But if you guys like these videos where you guys get some more behind the scenes stuff and information that you don't get from the video, for sure leave it down below. All right. So I think I'm going to end this live stream here, guys. I appreciate all you guys watching, all you guys for smashing that like button. And like I said, I've been working on some stuff behind the scenes. I've been trying. I guess I'll just put it out there now. What I really need is a licensed electrician to contact us. I need a licensed electrician in any state. Does not matter as long as it's here in the United States. That's willing to come do a podcast episode with some topics and that's willing to get on camera and provide the information with their credentials and stuff like that, just to how would I say it? I guess not satisfy, like verify, I guess. So, maybe their age, name, where they're from, what company they work with, stuff like that. Because I got a whole bunch of uh, stuff that I want to go over with you guys, but I think it would be best broken down by a true professional in that industry. So, but if there's any licensed electricians, or if anyone's watching this that knows of any licensed electricians that has been in the industry for, that's vetted in the industry, that's willing to get on camera, say their name, their age, where they're from, who they work for, how long they've been doing it, and then we could go ahead and get into these topic of conversations that I have lined up. But if not, I'm going to end up doing the podcast episodes myself. So I do appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you guys smash that like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe, and then also stay tuned because we're going to be announcing our back to school supply drive again for our Dare to Dream, Dream to Inspire kind of drive for this year, 2023. So, if you guys are unfamiliar with that, we go out with the help and the support and the donations from you guys, as well as funds from what we make off of our content and our sources of revenue. We combine those and we go buy back to school supplies for children and families in need, and even classrooms in need if they need them. So if you guys would like to support that, let me know down in the comment section. You guys can always leave some super chats, stuff like that, and 100% of all donations will go directly to the back to school supply drive unless you state otherwise. So I do appreciate you guys watching. I will see you guys on the next video. Later.